Every Denver suburb guide gives you the same names. This one doesn't. In this video, I'm walking you through 7 neighborhoods locals don't talk about as much, and a few of them sit right next to some of the most expensive zip codes in the metro. I'm Ryan Haarer, and I've been in the real estate business for the last 6 years. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where the real value is hiding. Let's get into it. Let's start with Edgewater, a small city, tight-knit community right to the west of Denver. It sits just one street from Sloan's Lake. You get the same lifestyle with the average price here sitting in the mid-700s, and when compared to the mid-800s and higher from Sloan's Lake, it's a really great option. You're still walking distance to the same park, the same energy, the same Colorado lifestyle, just without paying that full premium. The streets are quieter, tree-lined streets, and easy to settle into. You've got a mix of updated single-family homes, duplexes, and properties where owners have clearly invested over time. Think young couples, first-time buyers, dog walkers, people who actually know their neighbors. And the local scene holds its own. Edgewater Public Market is one of the more fun food hall setups in the metro. Edgewater Beer Garden fills up every weekend when the weather's good. It has that lived-in local feel that's getting harder to find in the downtown core. And when we get to Castle Pines and Erie later, you're going to see this same overlooked but shouldn't be idea play out at different price points and very different neighborhood feels, so stick around. Now, you're still right next to Denver, but compared to the blocks just west, you're getting a real discount for almost the same lifestyle. That's the opportunity, especially if you're trying to get into this market without stretching your dollar too far. And the next neighborhood takes a different approach to value, one most people don't see coming. If you're watching this and thinking one of these might fit what you're looking for, feel free to reach out. I work with buyers and relocators all across the Denver metro on this exact process. My contact info is in the description, and I'm happy to help you think through where you land on this list. Let's keep going. When people hear Englewood, they usually go one of two directions. They either write it off completely because it's not all that big, or they confuse it with Cherry Hills Village, which is right next door and happens to be full of mansions and one of the most expensive areas in the entire state. But both of those miss what's actually happening here. Englewood sits in a really strategic spot just south of Denver with direct access to both downtown and the tech center. And historically, it's been made up of older housing stock, 1940s to 1970s homes, which is exactly why it's become more interesting now, because that older foundation creates opportunity. The stretch you want to pay attention to is South Broadway. That's where you're starting to see real momentum, independent restaurants, coffee shops, local retail, and more consistent foot traffic. It's not overly polished, but that's part of what gives it character. And you can tell there's intentional investment happening both from the city and from small business owners there. Now layer in proximity. Just to the east, you're immediately into Cherry Hills, multi-million-dollar homes, large lots, completely different price bracket. And that kind of adjacency matters more than people think. As some of those homes have Englewood addresses, the areas kind of run into each other there. But again, the Englewood I'm referring to are the couple of miles east and west of South Broadway, a huge thoroughfare north and south through the metro area. In these neighborhoods, you will find tons of buttoned up, remodeled older homes that offer a real yard, a garage, and close access to everything in Denver and along the South Broadway business corridor. That same combination is getting harder and harder to find in Denver proper if you're looking for a home under $1 million. In Englewood, you can find something like this in the $500,000 to $600,000 range, a very solid price point for the metro. And keep that idea in mind, because when we get into Green Mountain and Erie later, you're going to see this same concept show up in very different ways, so stay with me. In Englewood, you'll also find lots of newer luxury townhomes for a big discount in Englewood compared to Denver proper too. Corridors like South Broadway don't change overnight, but once they start moving, they tend to keep moving. The buyers who get in earlier are typically capturing more of that upside. The ones who wait are paying for what it becomes. And that idea, buying into location before it fully turns, is something you're going to see show up again as we move into other parts of the metro. Next up, we're looking at a neighborhood that's a little further along, but built for a different kind of buyer. You know that feeling when you're driving through a neighborhood and think, wait, this is nice. I just wish it had a little more space. Wheat Ridge is the answer to that. It sits just northwest of Denver and Edgewater, so you're still very close to the city. You've got easy access to the mountains and multiple highways right there. But where Edgewater feels tight, Wheat Ridge opens up. The areas closer to Denver still have that walkable neighborhood feel. Go a little further north and west and things shift. Lots get bigger, streets get quieter, homes get larger. Prices can start in the high 500s, but you're already seeing buyers come in and fully remodel or scrape older homes and build what they want on land you just don't find closer in. So you've got a mix here: mid-century modern homes, classic brick ranches, newer construction, and spec builds, all in the same area, ranging in price, redone or brand new, from $700,000 all the way up to $2 million plus. I'll also mention there are more and more smaller townhomes in the 500,000s, which are newer properties, and those can be a great value. Crown Hill Park defines the outdoor side here with big views, long trails, and space to actually enjoy it all. Then you've got the Ridge at 38, a shopping and dining district, which is turning into a real local hub with restaurants and breweries that give it that Main Street feel. There's also a major redevelopment plan for the old Lutheran hospital site, new housing, some retail and green space. Projects like that don't show up unless there's real confidence in where the area is heading, and there's no doubt Wheat Ridge is on the up and up. The market here has softened a touch, like most of the metro area, which is a good thing if you've been getting priced out of the areas just south and east. You're getting more space and a price that reflects where things are today, not where they're going. But the next one takes a different angle on the hidden gem idea, and it's one most buyers don't even think about. Let's get to the fourth suburb on the list. Most buyers see that Castle Pines sits pretty far south and they just keep scrolling. That's a mistake. The name usually makes people think of that ultra-private golf community, Castle Pines Village. Beautiful, no question. One of my favorite luxury corners in Colorado, but it's out of reach for most buyers with homes reaching $6-7 million. What gets missed is what's happening just east of I-25 in a master plan community called the Canyons at Castle Pines. And it's one of the more interesting suburban setups in the metro area right now. After just one drive through, you'll understand it. The Canyons is built around how people here actually live. You've got a resort style pool, a real gym, and trails running through the entire neighborhood. The center of it all is the Exchange Coffee House. Yes, a master plan community coffee shop. Morning meetups, community events, people actually showing up and connecting. That kind of energy usually takes years to build. If the homes cover a wide range, you've got paired homes and duplexes on the more affordable side, but still very spacious. And then you move up into full luxury builds if that's what you're after. And when it comes to pricing, we're starting in the mid 600s for a newer 3-bed duplex, single family starting in the mid 700s for 2,500 square feet. And it climbs up from there with luxurious 6,000 square foot homes topping $2 million. So whether you're trying to get in at a lower price point or go all in, there's plenty of flexibility and optionality here. Now, it's a bit further south, and yes, you'll cross the highway to get to the main corridors, of course, but you're getting brand new homes, a community that already feels active, and a price to experience ratio that's tough to match in the southern suburbs. For a lot of buyers, that trade-off makes a lot of sense. If heading south isn't what you're looking for and you want to stay closer to town, the next neighborhood might be for you. Let's keep going because these next two are some of my personal favorites for certain clients. Colorado has a specific feeling when people move here. The mountains in the background, trails right outside, that sense that you're somewhere different, but some parts of Denver don't give you that. Green Mountain in Lakewood does. This neighborhood sits right up against the foothills in West Lakewood. You've got rolling terrain, wildlife, and trails that start right from the neighborhood and head straight into the hills. It's not full mountain living. It's still very suburban. You're not in a ski town, but it hits that foothills feel a lot of people come here for. If you want to be outside without driving too far at a great price, this is it. Now, prices have softened a touch, and I actually just recently helped a home buyer find a fantastic property in Green Mountain where the seller paid for their closing costs. So, option to negotiate here depending on the deal. The median home price here is around $600,000, and depending on the size of the home, that could get you, a roughly 2,000 square feet with solid updates at $600K. It just kind of depends on the condition. There are homes in slightly higher price points if you want more size or more updates. The neighborhood itself is established. You'll see lots of ranch-style homes and some updated builds, all set on those hilly streets that are designed to take advantage of the views, either of the mountains or of downtown Denver sitting below you. It's fully built out, so what you see is what you get. No guessing what might show up later. It's a great fit if you want peace and quiet and a price that still lines up with what you're getting. If you're looking for something with a bit more energy, the next neighborhood might be exactly what you want. Let's head to one of the most popular places to live, Northwest Denver, which is broken up into neighborhoods like Berkeley, West Highlands, and Lehigh, which have received most of the attention over the last decade. Something's been happening to another neighborhood here, though, called Sunnyside. Sunnyside has been sitting there, more accessible, still evolving, just waiting for the rest of the market to catch up. The wait is really coming to an end, though. You can see it when you drive through. New restaurants opening, local coffee shops filling up every day. It has that very specific feel right before a neighborhood fully arrives. And compared to the areas nearby that are already built out and priced that way, Sunnyside still has a bit of room to grow. Lots of scrapes and remodels happening in this area right now. Location is a big part of this. You've got solid direct access to downtown. You could walk, bike, or even scooter into the city center from here. And that's not something you can say about most places in the metro. Then you add quick access to I-70, and getting to the mountains is just as easy. Pricing is sitting in that mid-700s range, and there's already a lot of residential investment happening here. So we're starting to, again, see lots of scrapes with large luxury duplexes being built on top at $1 million plus, but it is a slight discount from the surrounding neighborhoods. If you want to stay in Denver proper, be close to that downtown energy, and still catch a neighborhood while it's taking shape, this is one of the last spots where that still exists at a relative discount. An older neighborhood that's being completely transformed. And that brings us to the final one on the list, and it might be the most overlooked of all on this list. Erie sits north of the metro, further out than anything else on the list. If you need to be 5 minutes from Lodo, this one's probably not for you, but for families, buyers who want something brand new, or people who came to Colorado for space and a real sense of community, Erie might be exactly what you're looking for. So you drive an hour north from Denver, you pull west off the highway. The first thing you notice is the mountain backdrop. Big, clear views of the Rockies. It hits you right away. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the town itself has that small local feel that a lot of suburbs around here lost years ago. You've got spots like Fox Dog Coffee, the Birdhouse restaurant, and a real walkable downtown where people actually spend a lot of time. The trail system keeps growing too. People in Erie love to cycle, and there's a new pedestrian bridge under construction that will connect the newer neighborhoods back into that historic core. When it comes to prices, it has a median in the mid-700s with mostly newer, sizable homes. One big reason to look here is new construction. If that's on your list, and for a lot of buyers it is, this is one of the better places in the metro to find it. Plus, communities like Westerly offer newer homes, solid amenities, parks, and a layout that's built for families. Most of the new builds are starting in the low to mid-500s and go up from there depending on what you're looking for. The market has already started to recognize what Erie offers, and you can see that in how prices have moved over the past year, but it hasn't fully peaked yet. A lot of the big commercial spots haven't shown up, and the value you're getting for newer construction is still strong compared to some other parts of the metro. That window doesn't stay open forever. If this is something you're serious about, it's worth going out and seeing it for yourself. Every area we covered today is either already starting to turn or right on the edge of it, and the difference between getting in now and waiting a year can be real money. Now, if you're serious about making a move to Denver and want help figuring out which of these actually fits your situation, feel free to reach out to me. Shoot me an email, ryan@ryanhaarer.com, and we can map it out together. And if you want to understand more about the Denver real estate market, watch the next video. It'll help you out. I'll see you there.